The city of Bloomington and town of Normal are spending more on infrastructure next year. A common focus between their budgets would be roads and water systems. Now, Bloomington's proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year is increasing, coming in at more than $370 million. $112 million is proposed for capital projects. The city is spending 25% more on asphalt and concrete and $82 million on state required water systems work in the next year. City Manager Jeff Juergens says they're also spending $1 million on fixing up their neighborhoods.
But with our housing crisis, we are going to try and address neighborhoods that need to have homes either demoed or rehab so that we can get those houses back on the market and help our housing crunch.
In Normal, Town Council approved their next budget earlier this week. It's a 10% increase from last year at $233 million. City Manager Pamela Reese says about 20% goes to street and sewer work.
This year we'll have about $14 million in road projects and bridge improvements. Everybody just needs to understand we're getting into construction season again, and that's going to be happening. Hopefully a short-term inconvenience for a long-term positive experience when you're on the roads.
More than $11 million of that budget going to water line and sewer work. Bloomington City Council is expected to vote on their budget April 13th.